Welcome back to the Two Man Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Darren DeCarlo, along with Mr. Nick Diesel.
Yo!
And we're here talking the NHL and those Detroit Red Wings and those Toronto Maple Leafs. One team is good, the other team, not so much.
No good.
This past weekend, the Leafs dropped two big games to division rival, the Detroit Red Wings. Well, only securing one out of a possible 4 points.
Jerseys hit the ice.
The what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that happen too?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Nick Diesel, what do you make of these Leafs? Does something drastic has to be changed this early in the season?
Well, I sure don't see a better team than I did last year. I think I see a team that's worse than they were last year. I think that this team, do you really see a future in it? I see a couple key pieces like JVR, possibly Tyler Bozak or Kadri. I don't know if they're going to keep both of them. I think Kessel, do you keep Kessel? I seen Kessel not give up, but let up with 26 seconds left against the Red Wings. The Red Wings had the puck in their zone behind their net. He was in the slot, and he stood there and let them skate the puck up. If it's 4-on-4 in overtime, what is it? It's man-on-man, right?
That's right.
Okay. So why the hell did you let them skate it through the neutral zone, into your zone, and why do you let Zetterberg shoot with 8 seconds left? It's one of those things that maybe the wrong people were out at the wrong time. Maybe he's on Randy Carlyle. I don't know who to blame it on anymore. All I know is that there's a serious issue.
Yes.
There's a serious issue. This team I don't want to say they don't have any fight, but really,
there's no spark in this team.
they don't know who they are. It's not like when they made the playoffs a couple years ago and they played Boston. Mm-hmm. They had a good team, and they had Colton Orr, they had Fraser McLaren, they had Mark Fraser. They busted your face.
Yeah, but this is a different...
Exactly. They knew their identity then.
Yeah.
They don't know their identity so much now. And I think Randy Carlyle is having a hard time with that. And I think he might be on the way out. Do you think Reimer's the answer? There's so many question marks with this team.
I think right now...
More question marks than coming out of training camp, and that's an issue.
I think right now it doesn't matter who you put in net. You put Reimer in one night, Bernier in the other.
Well, I think Bernier really had a great game against Detroit. If it wasn't for Bernier, they would have got destroyed again in Detroit. Because they sure in the hell got their ass kicked in Toronto.
It just kind of stings a little bit that one of the wins that the Wings have against the Leafs, Jonas Gustafsson, was in net.
The monster.
The monster. Leaf fans remember him as he was going to be the future. But no.
It's funny how that works. People are no good in Toronto, and they leave, and they're good.
No, or if you're Don Cherry, you can say that, the Leafs, they don't draft any Canadian-born players.
No good Canadian boys.
Yeah.
You don't draft them, you draft American
guys.
They
draft all the Russians and the Swedes and the Finns. No Canadians. But we got plenty of Canadians on the team. But I just think that everyone who plays against Toronto wants to beat Toronto really bad. Because there are a lot of Canadian players that come back to Toronto and they want to put on a good show.
They've been using that excuse for years.
Well, then do something about it. Get Eric Stahl. Get Eric Stahl.
Let's hit on that before we move to the Red Wings, because I think the Red Wings deserve this conversation a lot more than the Maple Leafs do. So let's hit on this Eric Stahl thing and move the hell on, because I hate the Leafs. It's
a love-hate relationship.
That's right.
Now we hate
I
him.
hate you. I hate you. Anyway, so Eric Stahl, there was talks about moving Gardner, Bozak, or Kadri, and a first-round pick for Eric Stahl. Do you do it?
No.
I pulled the trigger on that trade in a heartbeat.
You don't
tell me why.
Not a first-round
And I'll
pick,
tell
Nick.
you.
Not a first-round pick.
What the hell? What do they do with him anyway?
Okay, then you sweeten the pot. You give him Gardner, you give him Kadri, and you give him, I don't know, someone else's, maybe a Tyler Bozak or something like that. It's 3 NHL-ready players.
You're giving up 2 centers instead of the first round? I'd rather give up a first-round pick than both centers.
If anything, I'll give him a second-round pick. I give him Kadri,
Nah, it's not going to happen.
Gardner, in a second round. I think that is more than fair.
I think the Leafs are looking for somebody to have the C on their chest. That would be a guy that would be legitimate enough to put the C on his chest. It can't be Phaneuf, but it is Phaneuf because that's the only guy they really have besides the loophole, and he can't stay healthy.
You can say one thing about they want to get a guy who wants to wear the C. You have to win over the locker room. You have to win over the other players on the team. You have to get their trust, and they have to believe in you. So that couldn't be anyone you just pick up off the street. Oh yeah,
it's not anybody picking up the street. It's Eric
good.
Stahl, and I think it would.
I don't think Eric Stahl
give
wants
Kessel
to be.
a center for a change, a true center.
He's not a center though.
You can play both.
Yeah, no. If anything, and I read something earlier today. I thought it was very interesting, Leaf fans. If you listen, the Edmonton Oilers suck, and they need to do something really bad. And
they
have,
suck?
and they have no goalie.
Didn't they just win their first game last night?
Yeah.
Good job, Edmonton.
That's good for Edmonton.
I didn't see no jerseys to the ice.
We have two not great but good goalies. We can easily make a deal here.
Ah.
Get Yakupov, get a Jordan Eberle, get
All right. This is
get
it.
a Nugent Hopkins.
This is the end of this conversation.
Why not?
Look,
why not? Tell me why that you wouldn't make that trade. You give them either
because there's 6 games in the season. We're already talking about trades with Toronto because they're garbage.
Listen, Nick. Listen. You give them Reimer, you give them Gardner, you give them Kadri, and a pick.
It all sounds great.
You got to make one of those blockbuster trades. It worked for Dougie when we got Dougie
Oh,
from Calgary.
my
Remember
God.
that?
See, look at this
Remember
is what
that?
Leaf fans out there. You go, yeah, Dougie, you remember Dougie? Yeah, that was in
93.
yeah. God, it was before 93.
Okay,
Get
it was before
over
93.
it.
But everyone
Just like
remembers
Michigan
93.
fans, Bo is dead.
Yes. Bo is dead.
Anyway,
but
let's
Dougie's
move
still
to the-
alive, though.
Yeah, let's move to the Red Wings. God,
We'll
please,
save
this team
we'll save
deserves
this
it.
topic for another day.
Jimmy Howard, before he got hurt there, I think he's got a slight groin pull. That's why Gustafsson played against the Leafs the second game. They look legitimate. They look good. I don't know if they're going to be going and running away with the Stanley Cup, but I think they can definitely make a run, especially when Pavel Datsyuk comes back. Zetterberg seems to be
He's
playing
coming back
well.
tonight.
He's going to be back tonight.
They take
He's
on
had
the
an injured
Habs.
shoulder. He will be back tonight against the Habernacks. So
Happy don't.
I think the Detroit Red Wings have a really good shot to do something special, especially since they've already taken down, I think, Boston. And they've already taken down the Leafs twice. And they play Montreal tonight, which is 5-1. So if they can beat Montreal tonight, who's saying the Red Wings aren't legitimate contenders?
They're only legitimate as long as they stay healthy. Once
Well, they're not really healthy right now. They're legitimate.
Yeah, but
they're kicking the shit out of the Leafs.
They're healthy right. Well, it's the Leafs, number one, and number two, they're healthy right now because they have Zetterberg, Datsyuk back, Franzen's back.
He's looked good too. He's looked really good.
And then the young guys, your Tatars, your Yurkos, your Nyquist.
Nyquist, he's a
I love him for the only one reason he's on my fantasy team, and he's been scoring a lot. So
I like him because he's a good hockey player.
yeah, he's good. He's another Glenn Holland.
Glenn Holland. I don't know. Can we edit this out?
What's his name?
I don't know. I can't help you. Ken Holland.
Ken Holland. Glenn, Ken, same thing. Ken, he's been
Yeah,
another.
now it's staying in.
He's been another great.
Glenn Holland. What the hell's wrong with
same thing. I'm a Leaf fan. I don't care about the
Unbelievable.
the GM.
See what happens out there, folks? This is what you get from Leafs fans.
I was gonna say if you're a Wings fan and you want to come in and debate Leafs and Wings, we have a free chair here and we have an extra mic.
Definitely. Come, make sure you check us out on 2MApodcast.com. We talk Wings and Leafs all year long.
Yes.
We also talk about Detroit Lions. If you can check out that podcast this week. Also check out some pictures we have on our website. So, again, 2MApodcast.com. Also on Twitter and Facebook at 2MA Sports. So, let's wrap this up, Darren.
Yes.
The Detroit Red Wings play in Montreal tonight.
Should be a great game.
Do they go in there and get a win? Can they keep beating these division teams?
Well,
especially big rivalry games.
Well, the Habs are the head honcho right now.
5-1.
They are the bee's knees when it comes down to
bee's
it.
knees,
The bee's knees.
Okay.
So if it would be a big win for them to go into that building, how crazy it can get, and to get a W. But I like the Montreal Habs taking this game tonight.
It's hard to pick against the Habs when they're 5-1, especially at home.
They're really
I'm going to
good.
go with the Habs. Now, on the other side of it, the Leafs go into Long Island. And Long Island has been hot because guess what? They got a number one center in John Tavares. God. Do they go into Long Island and get destroyed tonight?
Just a little fun fact: John Tavares was drafted in the same years as we took
La Kadri.
Kadri.
I don't want to hear it.
So I'm just saying, it'll be a reuniting of those two former first round picks. But yeah,
One's good, one's not so good.
It depends on who's in net.
It's got to be Bernier. If you ask
Chances
me.
are it'll probably be Bernier after he had the better performance from the weekend. But I like if the Leafs get out to an early lead, I like them holding on to it. But if they fall behind quick and they're on the road, it's gonna be night Leaf land.
They do not win at home this year. They win on the road, so it's hard to not
Go
pick
against them
on the
on the
road
road, maybe?
against the Islanders. But the Islanders have been playing well. So you know what? Screw it. I'm going with the Islanders. This
Oh
least
my
suck.
God!
Anyway, stick with us. We're right back with some Michigan State talk. And Michigan didn't win this week. Rejoice, Blue fans!